Someone's a puppy or something.
Written and directed by J.J. Abrams. Produced by Steven Spielberg, J.J. Abrams, and Brian Burke. Executive producer Guy Rydell. Starring Kyle Chandler as Deputy Jack Lamb, Elle Fanning as Alice, Joel Courtney as Joe Lamb, Gabriel Basso as Martin, Noah Emmerich as Colonel Nellick, Ron Eldard as Mr. Daynard, Riley Griffiths as Charles, Ryan Lee as Carrie, and Zach Mills as Preston. Description created by NCI Described Media. This is Carl Nubile. The case. Dressed in a suit and hat, Martin walks up to the chalk outline of a body drawn around a pool of blood.
This is where my friend was attacked.
By who?
I've never seen him before. He looked pale, crazy. He bit my friend.
Then what happened?
He was dead. And then?
He got up and walked away?
How did you know?
Anything left behind?
Yes, this fell out of the pocket of the attacker's pocket.
Thank you.
A key card for Romero Chemical. In an office, Preston uses a
Hello,
phone.
Mr. President. I'm Detective Hathaway. I'm here to discuss some urgent matters regarding your chemical factory.
Are you referring to the recent incidents?
Yes, I believe I am.
Tell the chairman I'll call him back. You have 3 minutes.
You want to tell me about those employees?
I was sorry to hear of their unfortunate accident.
That was no accident. Did you see the bites on their neck?
Are you suggesting some connection between my chemical company and those
Those were zombie
Palmer
attacks.
Pictures presents.
Romero Chemical has nothing to do with any such thing.
Then what happened?
Hey,
to
album
those
entertainment.
47?
Bad
You wouldn't mind if I
Piotr.
took a look around, would you?
Of course not.
Martin puts on his hat and stands, then shakes Preston's hand.
Good day to you, Mr. President.
Good day, Detective.
As Martin leaves, Preston picks up the phone.
He knows.
Martin walks into Building 47 and turns on a flashlight. Old factory equipment fills the warehouse. Costumed as a zombie, Carrie creeps up behind him. Martin and Carrie grapple. Martin takes out a gun, but Carrie knocks it away. Martin turns and slams Carrie against several nails protruding from a wall. Blood pours from Carrie's mouth. Later, Martin dials a telephone.
It's me, your boss. I need you to buy my wife a ticket to Michigan. It's too dangerous for her here. I just love her so much.
A model train sits on tracks.
John, I don't like it. This case, these murders.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Go to Michigan with you?
Mackinac Island's beautiful this time of year.
Sweetheart, this is my job.
I just love you so much.
I love you too.
Firecrackers explode inside the model train. Flaming train cars tumble over gravel. The next day,
I can't believe we weren't killed last night.
Okay, now you have to leave town.
No, I'm staying here with you.
I don't know what I would do if something happened to you.
What if there are survivors down there?
There were no survivors. Did you see that crash? Excuse me, sir, were you in the wreck?
on the hill above the real crash site, Martin takes out his gun and shoots Carrie, still dressed as a zombie.
That settles it. I'm not going anywhere.
In an office, Martin tape records himself.
It's been 2 weeks, and the murders continue. This investigation is like no other. It's putting too much stress on this town and on my marriage.
He takes a drink.
Zombies be real. Hello? This is Detective Hathaway. I'll be right over.
Martin meets with Joe, dressed as a soldier.
Let me hear.
Military police investigation. It was a suicide.
Suicide? Who was it?
A former Air Force officer said there's a secret he couldn't keep any longer.
Does he work for Dr. Peter Bracken?
I never would have given you this information if we hadn't served together in Vietnam.
These are hard times.
I'd rather not talk about it.
Wearing a white coat, Charles leans over a patient.
Doctor,
Detective,
I'm here to discuss your involvement with Romero Chemical.
I was the one that developed the special compound to turn all these humans into zombies. It was supposed to be used as a military weapon, but it got out of hand. So I made this antidote that will hopefully cure all of the zombies.
That's incredible. How much have you made?
Just this one. Would you like to help me test it on this innocent victim of my creation?
Carrie leaps onto Charles' back and bites his shoulder. Martin takes out his gun and shoots Carrie, who slams against the wall and slides to the floor. Snarling, Charles turns towards Martin, who shoots Charles as well. Martin picks up the antidote, a plastic syringe.
Honey, I'm home. Good news. We found a cure for the zombie infection. Honey?
As Martin peers into a bedroom, Alice, dressed as a zombie, attacks him from behind. The syringe falls to the floor as they grapple. Martin holds her against the wall with one hand and reaches for the syringe with his other. He grabs the syringe and plunges it into her neck. Alice falls limp. Martin points his gun at her.
Sorry. It didn't work. I wish it worked. I tried. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Normal again, Alice opens her eyes.
John?
Martin drops his gun and hugs Alice. The End, a film by Charles Kasnick. Sitting in an armchair, Charles closes a book and removes a pipe from his mouth.
It's been a Charles Kasnick production. We had such a fun time filming this movie, The Case. So much fun that I hope you pick it for the Cleveland International Super 8 Film Festival.
As a zombie, Alice leaps out and bites Charles on the neck, then sneers at the camera.